The White House Chief of Staff, Susie Wiles, did not mince words in a Vanity Fair interview about the current administration. She said, you know who had the personality of an alcoholic, that VP Vance is a conspiracy theorist, and that Pam Bondi really whiffed on the Epstein files, which you know who is in, according to her. The White House is doing damage control, but the author of the article says he can prove it. It's all legit, and she said it. Take a look.
This is, unfortunately, another example of disingenuous reporting, where you have a reporter who took the Chief of Staff's words wildly out of context, did not include the context those conversations were had within.
Sometimes I am a conspiracy theorist, but I only believe in the conspiracy theories that are true. I hope that the lesson is we should be giving fewer interviews to mainstream media outlets.
They're not contesting any of the substance of the piece because they know it's true.
Is that because you recorded the interviews?
And every interview was recorded. Everything is on tape. And so they know that they just can't go there.
Well, Susie Wiles calls the article, quote, disingenuously framed hit piece with significant context disregarded. But what was she thinking when she agreed to do this? When they asked the first question and you knew it was a question that was hit piece material, why did you answer it?
I know.
So I see this very different than a lot of folks do. So just for some background on Susie Wiles, Trump's had 5 chiefs of staff over his first term, and now I knew 3 of them very well. She is by far considered the most respected, the most feared, and the most beloved. And we saw the wagons circle from all corners of Trump universe yesterday when this piece came out. Don Jr. put out like a 300-word defense of her, reminding people that after January 6th and other things, she stayed by his side when other people fled. She's known for being disciplined, and I actually believe that to be true for her. So I think she was intentional in this. I think it's very possible that chiefs of staff leave the White House, that she may be thinking of leaving next year. The midterms are not expected to go well for Republicans.
Which she also said that in the piece.
She did say that in the piece. She worked on the campaign. She's been there for a year, and I think she wanted to put on the record some things she disagreed with. She criticized the tariffs. She basically explained they shouldn't have gone the way they did. She criticized cutting USAID, which gutted American soft power, and the handling of the Epstein files. But the juiciest part, if I may, J.D. Vance versus Marco Rubio. So Susie Wiles is from Florida. She's close with Marco Rubio. He comes off looking as good as anyone could in this piece. She defends him. She says he's principled. He really supports Trump. She basically calls the vice president an opportunist, more or less, and basically says he's a conspiracy theorist. So I'm looking at 2028, and Susie Wiles, the most important Republican political operative in America, is squarely Team Rubio.
Well, that's quite an analysis.
I spent a lot of time on this yesterday. This is my Roman Empire.
Well, I found it was a lot of confirmation. So it wasn't really like shocking anything in the article. It was shocking that they'd do the article. And I find that sometimes for the people that coined the phrase fake news and how awful mainstream media is, they still seem to crave the validation and credibility of places like a feature in Vanity Fair. So they can't get out of their own ways. But the 3 things that jumped out at me is, we talked about at the show that the attacks on the Venezuelan ships was not about drugs. And she confirmed that. It was always about a regime change. The flip of J.D. Vance, which I found just a burn. There was no, she could have used more words. She just like, he's an opportunist. Next, like, which we also, but we also knew J.D. Vance was like that. He is no longer the man of hillbilly elegy. He came from an anti-Trump position and twisted day and night. And you're like, wait, what do you stand for? And she confirmed he doesn't stand for anything except conspiracy theories. And then the misjudgment on the Epstein files, which we all kept saying, these are really important. You ran on it. You even gave a binder out. And she was like, yeah, that was a miss. So I just found this was a lot of inside confirmation of what we all thought.
I was thinking from Trump's point of view, she didn't really do any damage to him when you think about it. First of all, she said he has an alcoholic personality and he doesn't drink. He just inspires others to drink. That's one thing. Then she says, yeah, he might be in the Epstein files, but there's nothing really salacious about it. He's just hanging out with that perv. Well, a lot of them were. As a matter of fact, she absolved Clinton. So Trump's thinking, hey, this is looking good for me. I don't think it bothers him in the least.
I don't think it bothers him in the least, but I agree with you, Alyssa. I think this was very much about preserving her legacy and preserving her position, because by all accounts, she is a serious person in a deeply unserious administration. And I think in preserving her legacy and preserving her positions in this way, she can have a future in politics. She
with
can
Marco
probably,
Rubio.
perhaps
Not
with Marco Rubio.
No.
She said a couple of things that I did find illuminating, which is it's not about drugs in Venezuela, but it is about regime change. And according to
oil.
what she
What
had,
about the oil?
It's about the oil
Yeah,
also.
right.
And but she's saying that, according to her sources and people she has spoken to, that Maduro will fold eventually and leave. I thought that was very interesting. What was also interesting to me is that she urged Trump not to pardon the most violent rioters of January 6th. So that preserves her legacy in that way. And she also harbored very serious doubts about the deportation process that we're seeing, the ICE process. She disagreed
the
with
way
that.
the both of you are describing her, she sounds like the adult in the room.
She's
Is
a
it?
she
very
is the
serious
Well, then
person in the room.
why does the toddler in chief have the nuclear codes?
Because she has-
Why does she not have them?
She literally has to have a feed in her office of his Truth Social posts because he's so impulsive that she can't be the adult and tell him no. She just has to keep track of what he's doing.
Well, she may be the person, I'm thinking, and you correct me if I'm wrong, sort of keeping the wheels on the bus. I think she's keeping it together
long
because she
before they
seems
all
to be
turn
so
on her?
serious. If she leaves, that concerns me even more, given the seriousness of this article and the things that she said.
And I will say, like, listen, we all have a million disagreements with this administration, but I do think it's fascinating that it's a female chief of staff who's the most beloved, respected, struck fear in the staff to actually keep their mouth shut, actually try to focus on things. I mean, he had a 4-star general in John Kelly, or maybe it was 3-star, but who at times got caught up in the politics, at times had people who were against him in positioning. She's managed to keep people in line. I do think she's an adult in the room. I'm just not convinced she stays a lot longer. I think she sees the writing on the wall.
And if she leaves, I think we're in even more trouble. But one thing that I forgot to add, she called Elon Musk an odd duck and an avowed ketamine user.
He sleeps in a sleeping bag.
But then she added that she has no personal knowledge of the ketamine use, but she did call him an avowed
But why does he sleep in a...
ketamine
He's a
user.
multi-trillionaire and he sleeps in a sleeping bag.
Because he's an odd duck.
He's a
He is
very
an
odd
odd
duck.
duck. I would agree with that assessment.
That's why.
Is there something wrong with sleeping in a sleeping bag?
No, well, no, I guess fine, whatever.
I'm just curious.
If that's what he wants to do, who am I to judge?
He's a billionaire.
Yeah, he is, I know.
You know, it's a very expensive sleeping bag.
It better be.
Cost $1 billion. Whatever the case.
But you know, in sum, what does all this mean to America? Are they going to get rid of him based on this? No, she's just going to be...
She's preserving her legacy.
Her position in the history books
And
will be
she's
good,
also-
etc. But so what?
It's
Nothing is
beltway
going to
fodder,
happen.
honestly. Yeah.
They do nothing.
Well, they just, you know, she has also let the world know that there is an adult in the room.
Yeah.
That was also what this is. She let the see, I think it was strategic in a different way. I think she's trying to help him clean up his act. Because if she says, well, you know, it was just boys having fun, it's like, really? You know, oh, it was just, you know, this one didn't do what she was supposed to do, or this one didn't. But I'm on top of it all. I'm watching it all. I just think you're just trying to clean it up for them.
Did she approve the photos? Because those were a little weird.
Well,
Oh,
you
the
can't talk
photos
about
were
the photos.
interesting.
She says that her... She's,
I mean, Vanity Fair. I mean,
Someone did them dirty.
They did those people wrong, man. Maybe they're doing the Lord's work. I don't
They
know.
need to get a
but,
Pulitzer.
you know, they really did a
But
job
you know,
on them.
she says that it's an interesting point she made that her father was an alcoholic, and she understands the personality of an alcoholic. So that's why she says he has an alcoholic personality, but he doesn't drink. He's has a narcissistic disorder.
Yeah.
That is really what he has.
But he responded to it, and he was
responded.
not offended by it.
No, he admitted it.
He also had an alcoholic brother. I think he got what she was saying.
He understood what she was saying.
He admitted.
You
He
know?
because
admitted
it's
that
somebody
he
who
has
gets
it.
what he wants and does what he wants and doesn't give a damn. That's what
Usually
he
they have a
is.
substance to blame.
He considers that a compliment.
Yeah.
He did.
Yes,
He did.
well, you know, listen, what does it mean for the American people? Not a damn thing.
Nothing.
Okay? You still got to pay your bills. Still got to pay your kids' school stuff. You still got to pay for, you know, your way onto the Beltway or wherever you live. And now you don't even get to do it with pennies.